just held on in one little corner over here. There we go. Let's go take a look. Jeepers creepers. We've got Jalen's new rig up here. I'm waiting on, we got new chain, some new other bits and pieces. New to us output shaft that's not bent like a pretzel. And but we've got the bushing, and the housing extension is a little worn out. And so the local transmission shop 30 minutes that way, if you were standing behind the camera, is going to have one for us tomorrow. So it's kind of in the limbos. Everything else is put back together. But we teased you on this one. This is a 40 something or other Willys. It's either a CJ2A or CJ3BARQ. Yeah, I don't know. But it belongs to a close friend. We've already sourced an engine for it, got that spruced up, put together, clutches installed. We got the Toyota 4Runner or Toyota Land Cruiser starter swap going on that. That's cool. And we just recently got a new input shaft, the bolt up to the original type motor. That's an F head. Now this would have had an L head in it. So we're going a little more modern into the 50s and with the F head, and we gain a couple horsepower. It's rocking 75, 76 on a good day, but it's like a tractor motor, and this thing, it'll be geared really low. And then we've got the T90 mated to the twin stick Dana 18, and if you go back, watch the previous videos, the previous owner really fabricobbled some stuff, and we're working through it. So engine's about ready, transmission's about ready, and then we get to the meat and potatoes of the chassis. The body's really pretty clean. We got some bubblies here. There's a little bit. We've got some, you see right there is those little blibbers. That's body filler coming through. So there's something happened there. On the outside though, they did a pretty good job of hiding it. Otherwise the tub's really, for what it is, it's in immaculate condition. Now these have a little hide it cubby under the passenger seat. We can't get this, I haven't been able to get this open yet, and I don't know how hard I'm going to try. But they also have a little cubby. There's the lid for it back here in the back between the frame rails. And this was, well, you can see the crud line and the water line full of a little bit of mouse house, but mostly just debris. But there's one little drain hole they burrowed there for stuff. But if you have one of these and you don't already deal with this back here, go in here and take a like a hole saw and get you know, 1 or 2 or 3 about 1 inch diameter drain holes in here, because I mean there's a little bit of metal left in here, and I don't know what we're going to do to treat that yet, but it's still in one piece. But we got scales. I mean, this is how we had layers of stuff coming off there. So it ain't good, but it's not structurally necessary either. So for right now, we're going to pretend it didn't happen. Up here, however, oh boy howdy, we've got the Dana 30. We've got a late model Ford, looks like Chevy calipers, Ford rotors. I'm okay with that. I approve of that. I do not approve of how we attached the brake hose here. They make, or you can make your own little metal brackets and ticky-tack them on there and do a much better job of that. So that's one thing. And then we we got really crazy. The previous owner did, not the guy that I'm working on this for, but we did some other Fabra cobbling, and with some sort of a Ford Mustang or so steering rack, and some bracketry welded to the diff cover, and some other bracketry. And by welded, I mean, I'm no good at it, but that's welded on there, kind of. And then, yeah, we had a steering column that had been welded there, and then there was some Bluetooth here, and then it was stuck in here, and we already took that out. It's in the metal bin. It was off of some sort of another Ford product, like a, I don't know, Escape, Explorer, something, piece of you know what. So that's gone, and we'll probably go back with some sort of a GM tilt column. That's what I'm gonna do. And we will also go back to some sort of a steering gear and linkages, because we're putting the 4-cylinder back in. We won't need all the extra room anyway. Otherwise, we've got bracketries and plates, and we got bracketries cut off, and we've got these bracketries. We've got one ripped off motor mount. We've got one sort of motor mount here, more stuff, bracketries, tubing. And then we came back to something that looks actually Willys up here, but it just ain't pretty. The master cylinder, I don't know what this is off of. This right here, I don't hate it. Now, it's not supported nearly enough, and these are grade maybe 5 hardwares, but we're probably, for right now, we're going to leave this just for mocking, and just, I don't think it'll be in our way, but we're probably going to do something kind of similar, but 300,000 times better. In here, we've got it on one, not even a double shear pivot. We can also use that, but we'll make it better. And we've got a pedal, that's fine. We've got 2 patch panels, a third over there, and you can see them better on this side. They were crudely cut out and beat around and ticky-tacked in. What we're probably going to do is take this, well, we'll take them all out, clean up the edges. This one will stay out until we figure out what we're doing for feet handles down here, and then we can fix the floor with the proper linkage holes for the feet handles and all that good stuff. We had, this is the most aggressive I've seen somebody get with carburetor accelerator linkage in a while. This was self-tappered into the bulkhead firewall. Then we got the ready rod. We went to Ace Hardware and bought them out of stuff, and this somehow attached to that carburetor on that Buick V6 or something. I don't know, but that's just for kind of show and tells next time the customer stops. So it's in here. We vacuumed it out. There's some doodads. That's another F-head exhaust manifold. That was a body mount. We're only keeping that because, you know, I don't know. And then the lower radiator hose, we're keeping that because we'll use it for mock-up when we put the radiator back in, if we use that radiator. This was the extent. This is all the wiring, and that's okay. We don't expect a lot. Really, all we need is ignition and lights. So that's all we're putting back on it. But that's how she sits now. We've got it all leveled out. Here's zeroed out there. And up here, side to side, we've got her zeroed out. So we're all squared up, sitting on jack stands. What we're going to do now is we're going to drop the leaf springs, get that axle out of there, probably put it to the side for now. We got to get this center brake line off, take the other motor mount off, take the grill off, get the leaf springs off, and then we are going to snip right about here and Bluetooth all this so that we can make new front frame rails and a new crossover with that 2x3 tubing and that 2-inch DOM tubing. And then we've got some other stuff. We bought some 3/16 plate. We can do some bracketries. We've got some 1/4-inch plate that we can do some bracketries with. We've got some angle, all that stuff. But for right now, we need to get this axle out of here, get all the gunk and the booger welded nonsense and the broken and slobbed over stuff off and or cleaned up. And then we're just gonna build new here. We'll put a new little stubby bumper on it. Life will be really, really nice. All right, let's get to work. You're going on the tripod. I don't know. I feel like it's a rock and roll type day. Gosh dang, 84 degrees. Here we go. Well, that's better. We're getting, I mean, I got room for the activities now. One negative, not that we didn't expect some of this, but as soon as, and you might have noticed on the vidya, why did I roll this under here so soon? As soon as we tipped the input for the front diff down, it started leaking profusely. And so we definitely have a leak, but then we also have that's the noise the bearings and the carrier and stuff make. So yeah, this is gonna need some attention, but for right now we're dealing with metal work and we're just gonna cruise that under there. We may, now I say we may try to find a replacement unit, but we'll cross that bridges when we get to it. For right now, we're just gonna log that in the back brains and then temporarily forget for now. But here's where we're at, and here's why we're redoing all this. We got fish plates, we got plates, we got welds, we got brakes, we've got rust, we've got something used to be here, a big pile of repairs, old repairs. This is all just structurally not good. Same thing on this side. And here's, I mean, somebody tried to put 8 or 19 different engines in this thing over the years. The spring mounts, that one looks factory. This one looks broken off and re-welded. So we'll look at that. But I don't think we're gonna, first of all, we're gonna attack the stubble, we're gonna call it, with the Sawzall, so we can get down to a place where we can measure maybe halfway accurately and better decide from here to here in this window, probably in this, actually in this window, where we're gonna lop this frame off so we can build new. We can only do so much of the lapse of the time, but we've got updates. All this crud is now off. These were plates that were welded kind of sort of to the side of the frame. These are older plates, I think motor mount plates that were welded. These were the factory ones on the top of the frame that had been riveted. We got motor mount bracketries, this hog right here, battery box, other stuff you saw. But here's where we're at now. The snout, the ugly snout's still on here, and here's why it's got to come off. See, right? See that right there? That crack? The spring mounts here, and so if this breaks all the way through, then bad things happen, because all the weight of the Jeep is on here. And then on this side, we're not too bad, but this has been repaired at least once. You see this big dent here, yet it's flat over here. Yet on the bottom, we're dented. And then this side, we're really bad. And we've got all this nonsense going on here. But the good news is we cleaned off all the motor mounting plates and stuff that were here. And we're solid. We're solid all the way up to here on the driver's side and on the passenger side. Other than they gouged this with a torch in a couple places, we're also solid. The bottom of the frame is solid and the top is good. Now there are plates on the bottom here, these 3 rivets, and we'll have to see what our motor mounting options are, but we may end up grinding these rivets off, popping them out, and knocking these plates off just for, you know, the sake of doing it the right way. We've got this threaded bolt we got to take out. For right now, we're going to leave the clutch linkage until we place our linkage in the right spot. So we'll probably, once we get frame built and motor mounts built, we'll probably drop engine and transmission in here, get the cross member where it needs to be, and then figure out where the clutch linkages need to be, and then pop everything out and build that right. Now the next big step is a pretty big one. If you notice now, we've got our motor mount plate was here on both sides. I think they're about the same. And then we've got these 2 nut certs. There's threaded, fine threaded 5/16 or 3/8 nuts in the frame here. There's 2 of them there. And there's 2 of them over here. And they should be fairly in the same place, but on opposite sides. So my plan is, again, it's a river Jeep. It ain't gonna go 90 miles an hour down the highways or the interstates. We're gonna measure forward to here, probably about 1 inch, and this is where we're cutting. Now, before we do that, we're gonna measure the height here of the frame and the height here of the frame, because we do have a little bit of a bend and we might be a tickle bit lower here, but it's not going to be so much that we can't just come in here, lay our 2x3 straight through here, put our cross tube in, and you know, we got our grill brackets. We're going to have to build those, but there isn't going to be, I don't think, enough difference in this height to this height that we got to worry about trying to insert some sort of a bend here. We should be able to come straight out. Let's measure that quick and then we'll know for sure. Okay, here we are to the bottom of the frame. We're going to call it 24 7/8. Up here, oh, it is a little bit, 24 1/2. So 3/8 difference. I'm not going to worry about that. I thought it might be a little higher, but no, it's lower. 24 7/8. 24 1/2. Let's go over the other side. Over here we've got 24 7/8. Oh, here we got 24 3/4. So we ain't the same. And over here we're within 1/8 of an inch. So probably what we're going to do is just run them out. Whatever that difference is, we can make up in our grill mounts, which will mount our fenders, and life's going to be just fine. All right, it's later, but this is what we're going to try and do. We got the picker of cherries. We've got our lines scribed. We're going to go 1.25 inches in front of our 2 threaded bolt holes on each side. It's supposed to be the same distance to the front, but this side is so boogered up. We're about 1/2 to 5/8 shorter on this side of the frame, but that's okay. At least we've got a good frame on this side to measure from. We've got all the measurements scribbled out on a piece of paper that I probably won't be able to understand tomorrow. And I think that's it. Yeah, we got it scribed over here. I'm gonna put you guys on the tripod. Now, as we cut, and we might take a little bit off this because we'll want it to kind of tip down this way so we can get through the bottom of that frame rail, and then it'll swing out. So that's the plan. Sawzall, new battery. Once I'm going to get this blade at the end of this video. This is incredible. We've done almost all these cuts with this blade, and it eats and then goes back for thirds, and then when it's all done eating, it eats a little bit more. So here we go. We're going to try to get a good start on this top and then just kind of walk her down. Pretty fast now. I think I'm pretty straight. No, I'm not straight, but we'll fix it if we're wrong. Okay then. That's one side. I told you. It eats. Down a little bit. I didn't do that beforehand. Let's try that. Hope I didn't wreck my blade. Let's get it out of here. Hit it, zap. out of there. We'll lower a little bit more here. There. Okay, my feet are clear because it's gonna swing. There, maybe that'll. We're just held on in one little corner over here. There we go. I guess there's no turning back now. We came a little this way. We're a little angled this way, but we can touch this up with the grinder. We'll make sure we're nice and flush. We'll make sure our measurements are the same side to side. And then I'll get some tubing and build on it, I guess. Okay, so this is a bit of an exaggeration, I admit, but here's our 2x3 rectangle tubing. Now, when we come here, we're just a tickle wide. We're probably going to go ahead and weld this, and when we fish plate the sides, we'll just bend them in. We'll use 3/16. And same here. Now, height-wise, we've got about 3/16 different. So we'll build a lip probably on the back 3 or 4, probably 4 inches, and we'll kind of triangulate it out. So when we weld around this, it'll be flush, and then it'll kind of blend down. And yeah, now we won't just start cobbling both arms on and then build it on here. My plan is we'll cut 2 rails to length, and then we're going to go ahead and bore the 2-inch holes in both of them. Our 2-inch DOM tubing is going to go through both sides instead of just the one side like this one. So I have 2-inch tubing coming all the way through, and we'll weld at least tack on each side, and we're going to jig this out on the floor. We've got a nice flat floor in here. We'll jig that whole assembly out, and then we should be able to come in here, lift the front, the tube part with the cherry picker, and then get it all level and square and everything else, and then we can start tacking it on. If you got a better idea, tippy tap below and we'll see how this turns out. But that's the plan. I think we had a pretty good, few hours of demo here, and all in all, this frame is in really good condition. The thing's like 80 years old, so what are you gonna do, Anywho, I think we're gonna end this one here. This was demoing and frame cutting, and then we'll do another video on frame building and grafting back on, because it's going to get super long if we try to do it all in one. So click like, subscribe. Subscribing is the key, and then tell your friends to watch your stuff, and I appreciate each and every one of you. Thanks for watching.